We're back in the Diamond League. He says he's random. He says, oh, I get placed too high. I do not recommend playing random as a race below, like, Masters or so. I didn't play it till Masters. I only do it because most of the sheeple watching, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch, well, they don't really play much at all, and if there's a small chance that I'm going to play their race, like a 1 in 3 chance I'm going to play their race or talk about their race next, that's good enough for them. Because at the end of the day, if they were looking for focused and educational content at a higher level, they wouldn't be watching me in the first place. Don't lie to yourselves. But with that said, Protoss versus Terran, Diamond League, 13 pylon. Not the end of the world, nothing ridiculous yet. It seems like we have another. I haven't confirmed it yet. We'll see. I'm gonna look a little bit more. It does kind of seem. Did you know? If you go to mouse and keyboard, you can change the mouse scroll speed so it doesn't take a titanic wrist/arm/finger/controller movement to move the camera up and down and all around. I see so many players because the default is 20%, something DPI, whatever. But that means you have to, like, to actually move your camera, let alone using camera locations and all that. But, I play on 5,000 DPI, so it's little movements. 5,000 DPI. You know, that seems like a lot. But, anyways. I've got nothing clever for that because it seems like a lot, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm on 800, which I know for a fact is less, but I'm not a math expert. Alright, we got the classic. I have a bunch of minerals, but my game plan ended with the cyber core. That's what that gateway is. That gateway says to me, I have no plan, and I'm hoping I remember it as we go along. Because you got 200 gas. You got, a gateway is 150 minerals. That means you could have built any tech building. I do have no plan. You come in here, not subscribed, send me 15 bucks, say, hey, I think I'm trash. Go ahead and reinforce it for me. Like, you said you wanted to get this done quick because you got church in the morning. So obviously you're living off of faith rather than science. But if I was to direct you to something that was actually tangible, I would say spend 10 fucking minutes on a build order guide than rather waiting for an hour in order for me to tell you to do just that. But okay. Like, if you can't make it to the most important thing, which is your first tech building, which I say in every single guide, the biggest issue for Protoss players is their, well, usually this is a Gold League mistake, is their first tech building. Like, if you can't make it that far, you've made it nowhere. You haven't even stepped out of your front door and explored the world yet because you're stuck inside trying to debate how to open the deadbolts that unlock actually learning how to play Starcraft. But if you're sitting there making gateways because that's all you can come up with, maybe you should spend more time in the drawing room with your 5,000 DPI, which I assume is very good for drawing murals as opposed to details. I actually have that I made up. I don't know if it's better for that. Seems like a lot though still. I'm going to stick with that. Meanwhile, sickest chrono boost. Yes, another gateway. Another admission. You have no fucking idea what your plan is. Did I just enter an angry coach session? I mean, you could have just looked at the title of the stream. But that would take reading and critical thinking skills. But thank you for joining us. Alright, and here we go. What's it gonna be? We got 350 gas. Could get whatever we want. A robo. Alright, Winter, you say to get a robo. Everybody should get a robo. And yes, if you don't know what else to get a robo. But don't get a robo when you've got 3 times the gas you need to get a robo. You could have gotten a robo like 45 seconds ago. In 45 seconds, I realize it doesn't sound like a lot.
Just as I deserve.
Haps to the birth, Commander.
Like, why do you think I'm gonna click on that? Only because it's you, I'm gonna click on that. But I'm gonna click on it, and then I might ban you, even though you're a mod. Yeah, we're gonna. This seems like it's gonna get copyright infringed. But no one cares. I will take your money, though. Thank you.
The firstborn shall persevere. Glory to the Daemon.
You are now in my service.
It is, for those who are so intrigued, it is Birthday Attack by the Oral Nuts. But I'm not going to play music from an artist that I am not partnered with, because I like money, and that would help me make less of it. Oh, so now we're going to slap a few more gateways on. Just go ahead, Exaltation. Your name's making more sense now. So...
Yes.
What are we doing?
Just
What's
as
the plan?
I deserve.
Happy birthday, Winter.
We're going to slap some more gateways on here. My plan was Glaive adepts. Okay. You got the adepts. The Glaives, so let me educate you.
You are now in my service.
In order to get resonating Glaives, you need a Twilight Council, which is unlocked by building the Cybernetics core, which you got a Cyber core here. You built a Robo, now you're building a bunch of gates. It's very hard to go Glaive to Depths without a Twilight Council. And you think, like, if the plan is to go Glaive to Depths, you would build the building that allows you to go Glaive to Depths. But at the end of the day, I guess we're working off faith. Okay, at some point, the Adepts will get the damage done. Eventually, we'll pull out the Prima Strategy Guide, and we'll learn how to get those Adepts. If the plan was to go Glaive to Depths, it would have been better for you to say you didn't have a plan, because that makes it worse. Are you still taking replays? Sorry I'm late. I assume that applies to most of your build. Yes. We got 5 or so on top of this. As far as I know, Winter never says no to money. That is incorrect. I have many times said no to people who are like, here's some money, go ahead and do some Angry Coach, in the middle of playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps or the Blind Forest or whatever. It's like, if I just pay you $15, you will drop what you're doing and take a look at my replay, which is essentially a dumpster fire, and make that the focus of hundreds, if not thousands, if I could be narcissistic enough, attention. So, the answer is yes, specifically to that person talking in Twitch chat. They're fucking wrong. Schmarmalade? I like your name. I don't like your words. Ah yes, now we're going for the Twilight. Now we've realized that we have 12 Adepts. I'll still take their money. Like, I don't say no to the money, but like, a lot of people expect a return on their investment. Like, they don't just give it to charity. I'm not a registered charity, though you should tune in for Gamers for Giving next month. And by month I mean week. And by, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably already happened. But this is a disaster. Oh my god.
Glory to the Daemon.
I like the supply block. You said this was diamond. Honestly, it's pretty diamond. You know what the beauty of this is? Like, you built an observer. You built an observer. The observer is right. Like, you're actively looking at that area. Like, okay. And still, you walked into an army that's going to kill your adepts. All you had to do was fucking look with your eyes. And you would have seen there are 4 Cyclones and 3 Hellions. But somehow, by some sort of like just, it's like, oh my god, where did that army come from? And yes, like, I would give you, like, well, you don't know exactly. No. All you have to do is move. You're like, well, I have 5,000 DPI, so if my hand twitches, then my mouse goes onto my 14th monitor. All you had to do was this. All you had to do was just a little bit. Just literally like a micro twitch. And you would have seen the army that somehow magically surprised your non-glaive adepts that are shit anyway. He has a bunker. Like, even if this army wasn't here, these are non-glaive adepts. They're not even, like, you're not even shading it. You walk up. You walk in the door. Like, oh, fuck. Whoa, shit. Oh, fucking fuck. Double. Oh, shit, I lost everything. Wow. If only you could have, like, on top of the fact, like, you did a glaved adept attack without glaives and without really using the adepts. The strength of the adepts is their mobility via the phase shift is the technical term. Oh, that's not even the right one. That's not even it. What is phase shift? There's something that's phase shift. I don't know. Psionic transfer. Nobody says that. Whoever says psionic transfer is someone who doesn't actually know anything about Starcraft and is just reading fancy names to sound like they know more. Anyways. So, after the shade, like, the advantage of adepts are the mobility of the shades. And you walk in to an army that you could have looked at and seen without even shading. So, you literally did everything wrong. The only thing you did right was build the adepts in the first place, which is, you gotta build something. But this was as bad as this attack could have possibly gone. And it was your fault. And now you're like, well, I need stalkers, obviously. Now that my glaives are 80% done, let's build completely different units. You just looked, like right there, you just looked at the glaives. And I think for a split second, your brain was like, something may have gone wrong. Not for enough seconds. It's not like glaives would have solved that problem. So, the stalkers didn't cut it the first time. Let's build some more stalkers. Let's see. There are 2 more upgrades out of the Twilight Council. There's one correct choice. Will you make the wrong one? Ah, you will do nothing. Even better. The answer was charge. Charge is, like, you might be like, but he has Hellions. Yeah, that's still better than Stalkers. Then you can get, like, Archons and other shit. As opposed to microing useless stuff. Those are non-charged! You got Glaive. You have built and own 0 adepts since your glaives are done. Like, you're literally, like, you're going into a fencing competition being like, yeah, let's do this hand-to-hand. But sir, we got you your fancy fencing sword or whatever. I bet they have a fancy name for it. I don't know. They're like, no. I got this. The Epi, Foil, or Saber? And Saber not spelled how it sounds.
Yes, yes, yes.
You see?
Just as I deserve.
He took the gold beast, sir.
What do you think? If you get, you know what? You know what? So far, we're putting it back, and I don't care. I did this before when people weren't paying me. I don't have time for this shit. You've got 1x. Blink would be 2. If you get Blink, there's no hope. Don't do. How long is this game? Jesus fuck. Okay. 3 strikes, and you're out. Like, so far, you have no plan, and once you had a plan, you immediately undermined it in every way possible. Why is Blink Strike? Give that man an X in the chat. Publicly shame him. Because Blink Stalkers aren't going to solve the problem of Stalkers just dying horribly to everything he's building. Like, the problem right now is he has a bunch of Cyclones and Hellions. And being able to blink your Stalkers isn't going to solve the problem of him having a bunch of Cyclones. Maybe earlier, if he had started Blink and had a critical mass, but right now he's building the unit that people build when they don't know what fucking unit to build. Stalkers, if well microed, can counter small numbers of other units like Cyclones. Here, they are the most expensive unit that will not actually do anything. Charge Lots and Archons. Okay? Charge Lots and Archons. They take 1/10 of the APM, 1/10 of the IQ, and they have 10 times the win rate at this level. Charge is good because it can tank damage and doesn't require micro, and it's relatively cheap. And it only costs minerals, which leaves you gas for Archons, which are amazing. Or anything else. Like, he's continually warping in Zealots to his opponent's base without charge, while... Oh, and he's gonna start microing Blink Stalkers like fucking parting? What about Oracles? More expensive? Do you always have something to say that's gonna annoy everyone who listens to it? What about fucking Oracles with his non-existent Stargate? I don't... Like, what are you saying? You just throw it out like you've got a fucking Priva strategy guide out. You copied down the whole goddamn tech tree. You're like, well, nobody's talked about Stargate yet, so I'm gonna chime into this conversation. Jesus Christ.
I am here in the shadows.
Wouldn't Oracles be better? Let me explain to you. Oracles would be actually somehow worse. Because Oracles are armored units, which means those upgraded Cyclones would blow them out of the sky in 3 seconds, which is about as much patience as I have for you every fucking day. Meanwhile, everything's dying. If there was charge, if there was charge, then you would have crushed that armor. Like, charge, yes, you can mix it. Like, you don't have to go all one unit or all another unit. You can build multiple units. There were Archons and charge lots. Like, let's go back. Let's go back. We're gonna test this. I'm extra mad. Let's before the fight starts, let's just take a look. He's got fucking 7 Cyclones, 2 tanks, and 10 Hellions. Someone write that down somewhere. He's got Blue Flame, he's got Mag Field Accelerator, no upgrades against +1. 2 tanks, 7 Cyclones, and 10 Hellions. No, 12 Hellions. Against 16 Stalkers. And an Immortal. Write that down. That's going to become relevant. And after we're done with this replay, I am going to go into the unit tester. I'm going to show you the difference between well-microed Stalkers and literally fucking A-moving the equivalent supply and cost of Archons and Charge Lots against the same fucking army. Because I'm so sick. Like, this is why I brought up he's not subscribed. Because if he's not subscribed, he's looking for his 15 minutes of fame, and really it should be his 15 minutes of shame, but I guess some people are into that. Once again, he said he was going to church later today, which I assume is just for guilt tripping, because right now he's tripping over his own inability to think more than 2 minutes down the fucking road. But let's see what happens. You see, you might be misled by the fact that it seems like this, like it's going well, like the game is close. It is close. Imagine how much closer it could be. He's been following since 2014. So he should know better. Like, there have been dozens of charge lots in the main. Non-charge lots. Like, it's a reflex to say charge lots. Good thing we got Blink, guys. It really helped us out in that fight. You know what Blink is? Blink, I made a mistake. Blink is very good for expediting the loss of the game. Because that way, you feel obligated to use Blink. And usually people will use it poorly. The Terran is addicted to select all army, which is why this is still a game here. He might even win, which would annoy me way more. If he wins this game, I'm gonna... bad things are going to happen to him. He better not win this game. Oh, look! Fucking Charge Lots just won the whole fight on their own. Oh, look at this magic that just happened here. But he had Hellions. Oh, who gives a fuck? The Charge Lots do not. Literally, the literal first Charge Lots just immediately won the fight.
We embrace the glory of battle.
As soon as charge finished, boom, winning the game. That's about as direct as it gets. This entire game is taking 13 minutes to figure out how to play Protoss. That's all it is.
From the shadow, we embrace the glory.
Yes, if they have Mass Hellion in a good position, then Charge Lots aren't gods. But they're damn close. What the fuck? Oh, we're back to Stalkers. We're back to losing. Meanwhile, like, do you want to lose? He's like, well, I had a lot of success with Charge Lots, but we should probably stop because they died one time. It's like, well, we tried Charge Lots, and while they won me a incredibly great fight that kept me in the game and put me in a winning position, now we should go back to Stalkers, which have died to essentially anything and everything over and over. Oh, what an epic comeback. How crazy was that? Oh, wow. Give me those numbers. Where are those numbers? He won. He won in exactly how I was telling him to win, so it's not as bad. Even though, obviously, not in real time. Two tanks, 7 cyclones, 12 hellions, blue flame. Versus 1 immortal and 16 stalkers. So 1 immortal and 16 stalkers is 36 supply. 36 supply. Against 12 blue flame hellions, 7 magfield clones, 2 tanks, and 6... Yeah, I don't care about the stalkers and immortals. We're just going to have that fight. Remember, he lost the fight, or it was very close with the stalkers. It was very close. With micro and all that. And... Jimmy. Yo. So I'm just... let's see. How many stalkers? Like, we'll throw 3 archons. And 32 supply of charge light archon. Throw it with +1. And then Terran. 2 tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Terran had blue flame and magfield. There you go. Right? Right? Close enough? The zealots didn't have... Oh yeah, give the zealots charge. Which we could have had if we didn't go for blink. One more clone. Oh, yeah. And it was something like this, right? Like, let's just... Alright. This is like worst case scenario. I'm gonna look dumb at the end of this. Because the Terran was way more spread out. He also warped. There was a lot more context to it, wasn't there? Okay. Now we'll spread the charge lots and archons a little. Also, I still say immortals. I agree with immortals. Immortals are amazing.
Show me. Are you ready for this? You got coordinates or what?
He had like another round of blink. You know what? I'm gonna throw another archon and a couple more. That's it. So that's still less.
Order, power, my meditation. Give us. Speak up.
That's 8 more supply. He built a bunch more stalkers and immortals. This is not proving my point nearly as well. I still very, very, very adamantly stick with Archon Charizard is way better. But immortals are amazing, and I agree with anyone who makes immortals. Attack each other. Go. This wasn't as decisive as I was hoping for, but 100% in game. Stalkers are the wrong call, and I stand by it. And also, if you have charge lots in a timely manner, we never get to this position. Stop building stalkers. Stalkers are literally like, they're like void rays. They're the advanced void ray. Void rays are the Silver Leaguer solution to anything. They hit up, they hit down. I don't need any extra tech buildings for them. They fly. We're good. Like, I spent way too much time on that replay anyways. No more stalkers. Literally none. Okay, 4 stalkers max. It's like the low APM challenge where I built 6 Zerglings. Oh, I think the rule was 4 stalkers max as Protoss. Agamoni is a gold Terran. What makes Void Rays bad is they are... There's a lot of things that went through there. They're just not the best at anything they're trying to do. their niche actually is killing things like corruptors and battle cruisers. But Phoenixes are better if you actually have micro, and ground units are better in many scenarios as well. How bad? Oh yeah, Hope Score. Hope Score. You're a random player in Diamond. If we're going off of Diamond, that last game was a B-. Well, you spent your money. You eventually win the game. You eventually got the right units. But it took you, like, there is a very good chance you will lose games well before that point in Diamond. Like, you will lose a lot of games before you finally find the actual path.
SCV ready.
I mean, how can Void Rays be bad when they named an entire expansion after them? Voids kill Corruptors. Aren't Corruptors anti-air? They're anti-massive. Corruptors are anti-carrier. They're anti-battlecruiser. They're anti-your mom. But against non-massive units, they don't have the damage boost, and they're armored, which means Void Rays with prismatic alignment melt them.
SCV ready.
Corruptors are the anti-capital ship, but Void Rays are the anti-air.
SCV ready.
Agamoni's a gold Terran player. Why don't Corruptors deal extra damage to flying buildings?
SCV ready.
Well,
SCV ready.
Phoenix are voids against mutas. Phoenixes are literally the counter to mutas. Like, Phoenixes are the most direct counter to mutas in the game. Because mutas literally cannot touch the Phoenixes, and Phoenixes do extra damage to the mutas. What if you can't micro? We'll play Protoss, but don't build air units. Hi, greetings from Argentina. Hola, mi amigo.
CC upgrade done.
Let's say, like, how do you do, how do you say fuck you, pay me in Spanish?
You remember this time? Wow.
What is going on here? Jesus.
The Grim Reaper.
Okay. Don't lose your SCVs to SCVs. That's step one. Also, build SCVs. I like how that SCV has ruined your entire game plan so far. It's like, well, something happened, so therefore any semblance of basic mechanical skill I pretended to have is gone. You're not even building SCVs. Like, that's your job. You build SCVs. That's your purpose. And you're not doing it.
SCV's under attack.
Maybe that'll inspire
Save
you?
the voice.
Nope. No, you're on the fucking... You've been on the hotkey. You... Look at... Down here. Look at this. Watch. Command center hotkey. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Drops a mule. Okay. Alright, we're switching. Reaper
The
doing
enemy is
things.
attacking your SCVs.
Command center hotkey. You got... Wait. Yeah, 300 minerals. And you're like...
Want some?
And this is why you're gold. That is why you're gold. That 12 seconds there or so just is a direct correlation to why you are so gold. If you spend that much time with essentially no pressure besides suiciding your SCV for no reason, and you can't like put together in 2.5 minutes in the game that maybe I should be building SCVs, you are going to continue to be gold. Because build SCVs, build supply depots. You have like 2 jobs. And you are halfway there, but halfway is not enough. Now we're building SCVs, a full SCV and a half late. It adds up. I know you might not understand math, once again, gold, but if you're 1.5 SCVs later than your opponent, and you lost 2 SCVs, you may very well be several SCVs behind, even if you expanded mildly quicker.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Build SCVs.
Your CC is now.
Build SCVs. That's it. Strike 1. It's too much. Like, the game is that simple. The game is not easy, but it's also not complicated. Build more workers, get more money, give me that money, but also build more stuff. More shit counters less shit. You're not building SCV. Like, SC2 replay stats. Tell me a story. Ikamoni stats. His stats. Do we have direct stats? I don't see a worker gap on this. It's not in the main overview page. But I would love to see for the first 5 minutes. What is your average time between building SCVs? Which should be 0, essentially. Near 0.
Has been constructed.
Want some? SCV ready. SCV ready. This better be good.
Those turret placements are... fine. That SCV production is not fucking fine. Build SCVs. Thank you, Metal Rebel. Metal Rebel. And Kaladin. And Maru. Glad you enjoy.
Add-on finished up. You picked that one?
That's a good point. He's got a point. Why is there a reactor on your starport? What are we going to do with that? Nothing. We're going to spend all our money on barracks for no reason, while our opponent hasn't even fucking expanded because we have the critical thinking skills of a particularly talented fucking turtle. Despite preparing for, like, a talented turtle, yes. We went over, I was trying to come up with, like we had, for some reason we talked about turtle species the other night. I was trying to think of them, and I blanked 100%. There's, like, a painted turtle. There's an alligator. I remember alligator turtle, but that just sounds stupid. And also, he's not an alligator turtle because those things are terrifying.
Choose your own. Last 3 customs were a tournament against a European player who is 4,150.
He is the opposite of an alligator turtle. Who is 4,150? Is that a lot?
SCV ready.
Like, your build order is supposed to have an order. It's not supposed to be like, I guess I'm building barracks now.
Ready to roll out.
Like, you got a reactor starport, Why? Can you even come up with a fake explanation for the reactor and starport?
SCV ready.
Well, Winter, all your guides say to build a starport. Yes, they fucking do. You're right. Is that where they end? Do they end like the starport finishes and then bam, cut, advertisement?
Armed and ready.
At least you watch the ad. I don't put ads after the videos. I put them in the middle. Like right now, maybe. Maybe not.
SCV
You don't know.
ready.
I don't know at this point.
Then move on some.
I suck at Terran. Why not the reactor? Okay, it's not so much about the reactor on the starport. This is fair. It is about that he built a starport, he built a reactor, and then did nothing for a full minute. Which is entire, like, if you're gonna build 3 more barracks, and you're not gonna build out of the fucking starport, then, like, you don't go to Costco and buy fresh vegetables. We both know you're not gonna cook or prepare fresh vegetables. At least I've found a middle ground. Like you can build a starport and build a liberator. That's me buying a bunch of carrots at Costco and then dipping them in ranch because I didn't buy the vegetables for the vegetables. I bought them for the ranch. At least you have that. But when you build a reactor, that's like, I'm gonna put these in the fucking oven or whatever other cooking implement that's used in a dubstep song more often for me than actually using it to cook. That is like, you've invested. You've got a plan. You've picked these up off the shelf like, I have ideas. But at the end of the day, you brought them home, they went bad in a week, and we both fucking knew you weren't gonna cook those goddamn vegetables. I'm not speaking from personal experience. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. But you are, obviously, with your fucking reactor on your useless ass expired starport. Why don't you just go next week, not this week, like specifically this time right now in the world, but just generally. Why don't you just get vegetables and like guarantee? No! Build the barracks first! Have your taquitos! I love taquitos, they're very good. But you weren't gonna cook the vegetables. Why did you buy them? That is why you don't build that reactor on the starport. I hope that explains things.
Add-on is good to go.
SCV ready.
Stop with the fear dragon applause bot. Oh my god. Jesus. Yes, believe it or not, when I stream for 7 to 12 hours at a time without eating, I might get a little hungry. For justice and also food.
Add-on complete.
I like how you were able to get entirely into the main. You've literally... Okay, so he saw, somehow, with the most ambitious Reaper of all time, he saw a fusion core and two tech lab vegetables. But does that matter?
Yes, yes, yes. Just as I deserve.
This is why we play more than 2 ladder games a month instead of 50
I
Zerg
like
games
how
a week.
all that happened, and it's been like 5+ seconds, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on. The answer is, okay, Vikings. We're gonna, you know what? Okay, I'll give them some. Oh, wait, we need more gas. Is that for a cyclone? I feel like he lost track of what he was doing. But, oh yeah, we've given up on the SCVs. Strike 1 for the SCVs. The thing is, his opponent, this is gold. Just expanding, building 2 orbitals is going to get you pretty far. But I have relatively high standards. Okay? And ask your mother. That's a compliment. But you're not like honestly, the way he's playing, he might get to plat, but I'm not gonna give him that credit. because it really is that simple.
An
This
upgrade's been
game
completed.
is easy. Once again, it's not easy, but it's not complicated. Two very different things.
Ready to plunder.
It's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get caught up in whatever panicky thought processes you're going through, but it is not that complicated. Only noobs play SC2. That is true. That is
Supply
true.
depots are in short supply.
Very clever line. Whoever came up with that must be a fucking genius.
SCVs are under attack. It's a disaster.
What are you doing? Okay. The Vikings didn't cross the English Channel to be like, hey boys, you want to sign a peace agreement? That battlecruiser is a particularly strong gust of wind away from dying. All you have to do... Oh my god.
Upgrade completed. Your forces are just a little bit better.
Yes, we're ignoring the entire blatant and egregious disregard for control. No, this is too painful. Give me two. That's too much. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Like, I usually don't give out strikes for micro, especially at this level. But, oh my god.
Your research is complete. Upgrade.
You are now in my
Thank you.
service.
Swine256, how much has the other guy built up? You think that guy was building anything while his battlecruisers were on the other side of the map? You overestimate the Gold League.
Mind out of that.
You are now in my
I panicked.
service.
Yeah, the guy who I magically scouted a minute ago had one base, 2 starports, a fusion core, and was building out of said starports, jumped battlecruisers into my base, and I had no idea it was coming. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you, Swine256, Triolian, for 29 months. Glad you enjoyed.
And still in the game. Mineral pad.
It could have been ranged liberators. There is a better than 50% chance he doesn't even know how to get ranged liberators. Where did you think the Widow Mines went? Where did you think they went? Besides the fact you can see them in the ground with the obvious indentation, just where did you think they went?
What cost?
This is how my outfit plays planetside. God damn it. And it's a problem. Just like it's a problem here. Also accurate. This is still an accurate recreation.
Ready for that?
I like how you skipped right past tabbing into your factory and your
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, if I have the lack of self-reflection to actually post it, this is the part where you complain about the clapping from Fear Dragon's applause bot. So the way the applause bot works is when people type PogChamp in the chat, there is a level of clapping. The more PogChamps, the more clapping. Now, one person cannot spam or post a bunch. It has to be multiple people, like a crowd. So make sure this is the part where you leave a comment complaining about it, or in the Twitch chat, but nobody will remember you. With that said, I think when managed well, it's pretty great. I'm taking way too long on these replays. We gotta get moving. All this clapping may give you the impression people approve of this replay.
Research finish.
In
I'm still
reality,
waiting on high-sec auto track. Your precious face.
I don't know. We've seen so many. Like, Ikamoni has obviously plenty of disposable income, but not disposable brain cells. Which doesn't make much sense, but anyways. This game better end in the next 3 minutes. Fuck me. You know what? That's strike 3. You know what? If the fact it doesn't end. For everyone involved. Times 8. Vikings. The answer is Vikings.
Upgrades finished up. Your upgrade if your add-on is all done.
Have you heard of Vikings? Jesus Christ.
Add-on finished. Base under attack. More support.
Yeah, I had Vikings, but they died. Yeah, they're supposed to attack.
Your add-on.
They're supposed to attack, not just right-click past a battlecruiser taking screenshots with their fucking phone.
Mineral field. Out of gas at that geyser, but turrets only cost minerals.
Don't listen.
You're all mined up. Your SC upgrade is 10 based if you don't stop. Upgrade complete. Research is mineral. You must construct it. Your command, your base is under assault. Your precious base. Refinery. Just another replay to send in.
What a line. Well, I set myself up for this one. Fuck you, no GG. First. Second, you really earned this loss, and I'll give you that. it's a C+. Mostly because you macroed, and there is a percentage, not Terran players, but like Protoss and Zerg, that might actually be attempting to get mildly better at the game. Not you. I would never accuse you of that. But those players might actually lose to a player who has basic mechanical skill, but much like a basic mechanical machine, doesn't have critical thinking or some sort of conscious ability to analyze a situation and make a different decision. Because obviously you do not. Yeah. I don't GG because I get too salty. Well, not understandable. You know what? No. Okay, actually, that's a downgrade. That's a C. That's a stay golden, pony boy. Because if you have that kind of mindset, like there's that little bit of hope that sometimes you'll win games out of sheer mechanical strength. But with that kind of... You have a Diamond Terran mindset in the Gold League. So, good luck with that. Anyways, Jimmy says it's time for a quick quick advertisement. You can get salty at your own mistakes. Yes. Yes, you can. And you should. But not typing GG is not for you. Yes, it is. Let me circle back. Let's circle back. Let's circle around. It is for you. Okay? Typing GG should not be a metric of whether or not you did well or you feel like your opponent did well. I don't know if you feel salty because of their strategy or because of how you played. You need to create as many constants as possible. You need to create every game this happens. And then, as long as you have that baseline, you work off of the rest. But if every game you're like, well, I got salty, so I didn't GG, that's another thing you're thinking about besides focusing on not being a dumpster fire. And if sometimes you don't GG in the fucking Gold League because you get too goddamn salty, that just contributes and adds exponentially to your lack of ability to improve. Because if you let that overtake you every time, it's like when you put too much salt on anything, which I don't like one of my favorite dishes. You take a potato, you jam a bunch of butter and salt into it, you mash it up, not very much, but boom, meal. But if you put too much salt on it, it just tastes like fucking salt. Yes, I'm hungry. Just to go off that. So cut it out. All right? Get some butter. Get some, you ever had Mrs. Dash? Now, this is a real story. Mrs. Dash is like an amalgamation of herbs and spices, okay? But apparently, and I did not know this for the longest time, it does not have salt in it. So, my girlfriend tricked me into thinking there was salt on my potatoes. Yes, sometimes she cooks me potatoes. Sometimes I cook my own potatoes. I'm a grown man, unfortunately. But there's no salt in it. But it's still good. Just like you could be if you weren't so fucking salty. Anyways, quick ad. Pause ad block. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter. And have you heard of Angry Coach? Angry Coach. It's like regular coaching, but at some point, I got so annoyed with having people hanging over my head like, we got coaching at fucking 7 p.m. on a Saturday, and then half the time they didn't show up, and half the other time I didn't get paid enough anyways. So eventually, I stopped doing fucking coaching. But, eventually, at some point, someone with way too much disposable income sent me a replay and was like, I know you don't do coaching, but I don't, like, you don't even have to, like, just look at it. Just look at it. And, well, I looked at it, and I commented. And so Angry Coach was born. If you send me $15 or more, ideally more, and your replay at an appropriate time, then I might give you useful information. I might give you 15 minutes of fame. I might give you my attention. I might regret it, but at least I got paid. Thank you, good luck, and have fun. Thank you guys for sticking around. That was only 2 replays. What the fuck? A colony of ants. Is there a character limit? Why wouldn't you just cut out the A?
Yes. Just as I deserve.
Why wouldn't you cut out
Wanted
the
to know how to
A?
improve.
Why wouldn't you be
I picked a
colony of
random replay.
ants?
I'm
As
about
opposed
2
to
weeks
a
into
colony
ever
of
playing
ants.
Zerg. Maybe you can laugh at how bad I am. Thanks.
Like, if there's a, like... This explains why you're gold. Okay? This is a reason why. A colony of ants either sounds dramatic or dumb. But colony of ants, based on your Twitch name, would still...
Yes. Just as I deserve.
Happy birthday, old man.
Thank you. Fuck off. What is gonna be the biggest mistake? I'll be right back.
happy birthday, Winter. If I sum local, everyone gets $1,000 bucks from the government. Can you donate a bunch to get a mini 8-person tournament entirely cast by you?
Yeah, go ahead and get the players to sign up for it and organize it and administrate it. I will pay half of that to get a fucking administrator. If this is a vote for biggest mistake, then why was watching this replay not a choice? At least I got paid. Tunnel vision. You know, tunnel vision is definitely the most general. What the fuck? Shut up! I blame Fear Dragon for this. Got him. Oh, I'm sorry. We were good. Like, the just perusing it was enough. But he tried too hard. I'm too lazy to actually type it. Like, it's not worth a ban. But that's all I got. Like, I don't want to type a number. So. Pogs? Can I get some pog spam in the chat? Anyways, that's too much time has been wasted on this. I've already been. Use the applause command for applause. The Fear Dragon's applause by information. Can we finally get fucking going on this? Jesus. Okay, we're turning it down. Gold Zerg from the I was about to be like, did he just Evo Chamber block you? But no. His opponent is Terran. Now I want to see how this shakes out. The fuck? Like, now obviously you gotta go for a quick upgrade to pretend like this is a plan. I usually check placement with Evo, but I messed it up and made it first. That is one of the most Gold League things I've ever heard. Figured I needed it anyways. It doesn't even really block, so it's not like the end of the world. But like, the amount of work you put in. Like,
Yes, just as I deserve.
so I look back at the last
So I
replay.
looked back at the last replay I sent, and a
You
guy
can
only
skip-
made like 2 carriers all game, and I just run him down, so it's not anything worth your time. You can skip and keep the mods.
I like this. I like this trend. Can we get some pogs in the chat? And kill me for saying that. sending me $15 when they already looked at their own replay from Refuse to Wipe, who is very topical, if you would, and said, it wasn't worth your time. I considered it. Here's the money, but I'm not going to waste your time. I like that. All right. Thank you, Lehman Russ 40K. Like, we have moved to another level. Yes, I will take all the credit and the currency. And congratulations on being self-aware. I give you a hope score of a thumbs up. I don't know if you're fucking silver or something, but like... Also, okay. Until you started the like, if that had been anything like, even if you had started either of the other upgrades, I don't think that would have been an X. But you're starting +1 range. You're like, well, I need to get it done anyways. At some point, I'm gonna need +1 ranged. Yes. But... I don't know. There's no but here. Like, but not now. Now is not the time. I do appreciate that you're getting upgrades at all. I will give you that. But like, think about it. It was literally, okay, besides your extractor, it was the first building. In a Zerg, you really don't have to build that many buildings. There's not that many. Thank you, Probius. But like, you don't have.
Now in my service.
There really aren't that many buildings. You gotta make it to your first building without fucking it up. You gotta get there.
You are now in my service.
New queen. Brenda's here.
And she's disappointed. I don't know why the line got way quieter after. Queens will be stronger now. Yeah. Your brood will be stronger now. You, on the other hand, I think that's a good line. I like that line. Your brood's stronger now, rather it is. If I had the opportunity to go back and rewrite or do some of the lines, I would probably throw some more jabs. But I want it to be listenable.
Queen ready.
Like, if you play more than 2 games, which, let's be honest, most of the people who buy it probably don't. But
Brenda's ready to rumble. Brood under attack. Panic time. And you take and finish. Yeah.
if I ever decide to reinstall, like, what are you, running out of space? What is this, the fucking Pentagon Papers? I literally don't have enough space for this. I can't reinstall it. I've always been amused at that argument. I just got a new computer and haven't even installed Battle.net. Well, congratulations. That is a good excuse, and I'll give you that. Fair enough. Have you heard of roach speed?
Queen's all done. Good choice.
So you need roach speed here. He does have +1. I almost want to take the X back, but I'm going to leave it because of the lack of roach. Like, the lair and the roach one are on the same screen. They're right, like, this. But there you go. Like 80% chance it's gonna die now before it finishes. Oh my god. So the answer actually is kind of speedlings. And yes, the speedlings die, but if they eat a few lock-ons, you don't sit dancing around while being shot at. Like my outfit again. This is why we have Zerglings in the outfit.
More overlords.
There you go. That like the macro hatch is not a bad call.
No more from there, my slimy pump. Queen's all done. Mineral field. Mineral patch is gone, and it's not coming in.
Yeah, cyclones are super fucking annoying. Like speedlings, hydras are okay. Honestly, getting roach speed quicker would have solved a lot of it. The creep spread is decent. Your drone count is okay. It's not great, but I mean,
Mind out of that crust. Still in the game?
roach speed quicker is really all I can offer.
Now. You, on the other hand, you engaged in that threat on purpose. New queen, you're all mined out of that mineral. They're creeping on your creep chambers. Hatchery cooked up a...
Also, Ravagers are not armored units. Mag field accelerator. Oh, he's not even, doesn't even have mag field accelerator. He's over there like a fucking tornado of cyclones. And he doesn't even have the upgrade. I was about to say, well, mag field accelerator increases damage to armored by double. But he doesn't even have it. But Ravagers and Queens are not armored.
Fresh queen for you. A new queen is ready.
Oh, and then he goes back to his base, builds 3 command centers and the upgrade. So here is your chance. How much time is this game? Here is your chance. We might be seeing our first A, despite the X and the needless whatever the fuck that first 2 minutes was. You need to stop doing that. What the fuck was that? But right now, I'm gonna put it on the table for drama's sake. We have an A- on the table right now. For gold, A-. But he could still fuck it up. Fuck it up. What the fuck? Whatever. You gotta lose your units so you can unlock more tech. Everybody knows
New
that.
queen. Brenda's here, and she's this.
Okay, not all of the tech. And here comes the infestation pit. No? I like the queens.
Hatchery. Aim. Your swarm.
Oh no! 7 overlords is fine. He's got 70 drones. 7 overlords is 56 supply. If you're supply blocked, there's a good chance you can fill most of that instantaneously. Fuck off. But you shouldn't fill it with 14 mutas, because this is like the only unit you can build that does not take advantage. Fick off, yeah. Of your
Mutation
supply, like your map control. Yes, on paper, like if Scarlet was playing, be like, Muta's gonna put the nail in the coffin. Whereas here, you're likely to slip and hit your own hand, and then drive the nail, which is rusty and giving you tetanus. That's what mutas are likely to do. Yeah. Tetanus mutas. Thankfully, you were so far ahead, it was essentially impossible to fuck it up.
GG.
The mutas are putting me in a weird spot. I'm gonna issue you a warning on the mutas. That warning next time, like, this is your free pass. A-, but with an asterisk of Dennis. Yeah, we're gonna, like, what the fuck? That's 10 minutes for probably being hacked, hopefully. That's the only good excuse. He put a, whatever fucking copy pasta bullshit. Is Scarlet still playing? Okay, so you're watching me on Twitch right now. Is Scarlet still playing? Let me check my window capture real quick. I don't know. Like, if only there was some way. Wow. Is there a way to find out if Scarlet is still playing? Guys! Is Scarlet still playing? I don't know. I don't think so. Is she winning, by the way? In ESL Cup? I could be casting right now, but instead I'm here looking at your shitty replays. Cat Undead. Always coming in. Like, no, I'm not sending in as many replays of the same game every time, okay? I'm not going to send in another replay where I get pretty far ahead and then forget to macro for 2 minutes while I'm pretending to micro, almost lose, and then realize I can build Liberators and win in the late game. Which, to his credit, he usually does. But I'm sure it's not that game, right, Cam Undead? It's not that game. Of a Diamond Terran doing exactly that. No, this is actually not. Okay. So at no point around 100 supply do you decide, well, now we're just going to blow a huge advantage in order to pretend to play Terran like a good player, fail, and then fall back onto mechanics, which, to his credit, he actually has. And by pretend to play, I mean do all the stuff that casters never talk about at the 10-minute mark, which is like, build your... Oh, it's worse. Thank you, in curses. You missed me getting 380 kills with the Bastion. You missed it. There was no... We ended with one hard point gone. But... Thank you for the raid. Everybody else also had fun, I'm sure, but I had the most fun by a large margin. I cheese too. This is evidence I don't play macro every game. Cool, I guess. Okay, we're doing a double proxy. Like, this is not a bad build in TVT. Okay. It's not. Gotta make myself unpredictable. For who? The numberless diamond players who you probably never played before? Oh yeah, and then I burned 25k starts, 8k ISO, and I got one exceptional. And it wasn't Carapace. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Whoop Whoop 1x. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that was fun.
bashing the SCVs. Command center upgrade complete.
It did okay. Not really, though. Like, the numbers are 2 Reapers and 5 Reapers. Those are your numbers, unless he didn't see it coming. Anywhere between there, he's liable to have more, like, especially if he's building, he built 200 minerals of bunkers. So,
Real dust up with that base of yours. Your pretty little animals ready.
so now, there are a lot of ways to go from here. Like, it wasn't a total failure. It wasn't like the Reapers died and did nothing. But at the same time, they definitely didn't do enough to justify them. So, in this case, you're mildly behind, but not in a I need to panic and or pray kind of way.
SCV ready. SCV ready. Things are getting rowdy at your base.
That's not how that works. You were so focused on the goddamn scouting barracks, you got hard supply blocked. If there's anything you need to avoid in this exact scenario when he's ahead on tech, mildly ahead on economy, and I know he built in his main, but you need to make sure you have units to not die to literally any units. But here you're like, well, I'm going to be a cheeky fucking barracks boy. And because of it, 31 out of 31 with 0 depots in production.
Base is ready to go.
Dropping supply. That's an incredibly temporary solution, obviously, but that is a few hundred minerals down the drain. And yes, it does count as another depot, but... No, the game I described was he gets ahead, then tunnel visions and fucks it up. He's not ahead. He is not ahead. If it's a good build, what is he supposed to do against the bunker response? 1, you don't lose your Reapers. You just see the bunkers and back off, so you have map control and deny his expansion. If double proc, and the only reason he did the double bunker is because he scouted with an SCV. Not every Terran, maybe at lower levels, but at higher levels, not every Terran. I'd say maybe 50% of TVTs does someone scout with an SCV. If he doesn't scout with an SCV, he doesn't build the bunkers, and then damage can be done. But if he scouts with an SCV, he builds the bunkers, and then you lose the Reapers, you've lost on every front. When you build buildings on his side of the map and he scouts, you're behind. Why? Because you fucking gambled and you fucking lost. And that's what happens when you gamble. Of course he is here, because he fucking paid me for this. You not obviously you're new here. It's okay. Maybe you came from Incursus, who is a chill, sultry, sensual god. Many smart people say. I am not Incursus. Okay? I enjoy many of the same things. But in very different ways. So, just making that clear. With that in mind, when you proxy rack, sometimes you fucking lose. Ask Maru. about all the world championships he hasn't fucking won. Ask him about them. Don't ask him. 1, he probably won't understand you, and 2, he won't appreciate the question. Overall, though, the recovery here, like I said, like you're not behind, like you're not out of it. You don't need to gamble again. This is a good response. In Diamond, just simply having a plan for what to do next will sometimes leapfrog you back ahead. And I, honestly, it feels like that's what's happened here. Stop with the... I wish your Reapers had died at this point. Because if they had, maybe you wouldn't be staring at your Reapers going back and forth instead of building supply depots. At this point, it would have been better if they were dead. Oh yes, let me move my tank into position. Yes, it's very important to prioritize putting my tank in the right position. Like 20 seconds after I microed the Reapers that are distracting me in general to see his tanks are still at home. But if I spend extra time making sure this fucking tank is in the right spot, that's also going to be helpful. The Reapers have led to a cascade of things, and now, only now, many seconds later, will you realize you are at 70 out of 70 supply, and also, coincidentally, IQ. Oh, but if we look and see that he's exactly the same fucking place he was 12 seconds ago, let me give you an exact number. Let's see. Can I get an exact number on when we last saw where those tanks were? Okay. All right. This is your camera. This is you. That was like 20 seconds. It was right before that. Yep, still there. Still 70 out of 70. Oh my god, it gets worse. How have you not gotten... Like, if you had my voice pack, it would have yelled at you. What are you listening to? Wait, who's your voice pack? Ignoring how much of a fucking disaster this is. Tychus? Yeah, Tychus, like, the last time he was able to put a coherent sentence out of his mouth in a timely manner was well before we met him as a plot device in Wings of Liberty. So, Tychus is not giving you the information you need. Tychus is saying stupid shit, and you're over here, like, okay, everybody, hold your breath. Wait, no, deep breaths, deep breaths. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when. And at 70 out of 70. And wait.
Add-on complete. This better be good.
Okay. Now this isn't really a fair situation. Because The only reason he's not supply blocked is because of this disaster of a fight. The summary here is, we're holding our breath for the amount of time he is hard supply blocked. And if you feel like there is a non-zero chance, even though it isn't physiologically capable, but if there's a non-zero chance that you feel like you're going to die out of the game, it shouldn't be the least bit surprising that you do in the game. If you're sitting there at 70 out of 70, and throughout this process you've gone from, oh, I guess he has units, to I'm attacking, to I'm losing this attack, without building a single supply depot, this isn't a fucking campaign mission, this isn't a goddamn MOBA, you actually have to do other things. And yes, I see it. Like, during the fight, you queue up more units directly into that same supply block, which is better than doing nothing, but not by much. Good thing we built that Raven. It got a whole bunch of spells off, metaphorically. Somehow, you win the fight. You lose a bunch of units, because he's as... And this is probably why it was sent in. Because XD, he called you a hacker. Somebody call in the fucking team, okay? Come on. But, oh, hacker, obviously, yeah. You know, you disabled my Raven, did you? Did you actually use interference matrix on his Raven? I doubt it. I bet he used interference matrix on his own fucking brain. Yeah, of course you didn't. That would take way too much.
Ain't no minerals left in that.
At that point, he's trolling, okay? Like, right? He has to be.
That's all the minerals we'll get.
And the macro has carried through, despite it all. Did you get +2 armor? I don't.
Need more supplies.
Okay. He's honestly, I like it. It's pretty decent. It's amusing.
Victory. It looks good on you, kid.
So, as for Diamond, I mean, once again, you're gonna end up with a B. Because you know how to play, you just forget in small increments. For small periods of time, you just keep forgetting what you're supposed to be doing. But you're always going to end up with a solid score if your baseline is knowing what you're doing and you take vacations from that. Like, if you're spending your time like, oh, I got distracted. But if your baseline is no idea what you're fucking doing with moments of clarity, that's very different. We saw that at the very start of all this. So, with Exaltation, or I believe was the name. But that was an example of that. And this is taking forever. Like, I'm taking fucking forever to get through these replays right now. We still got more. I do appreciate the guy who's like, you know what? I was going to send you a replay, but then it was so bad, and I watched it, and that was good, and we're moving on. Here's 15 bucks. Real MVP. Wait a second. He actually sent it. Wait, whoa. Context. Are you in the chat? Refuse to wipe? Still, what a name. He sent 20 bucks with a message saying, wanted to know how to improve. I picked a random replay. I'm about 2 weeks into ever playing Zerg. Maybe you can laugh at how bad I am. Thanks. 20 bucks with the replay. 12 minutes later, he sends in 15 bucks. Says, so I looked back at the last replay I sent, and the guy only made like 2 carriers all game, and I just run him down. So now it's not anything worth your time. You can skip and keep the money. So he went through all this in like a 30-minute span. So it wasn't even like a thing. So it's actually 35 bucks for him to realize it wasn't worth anyone's time. Right, that's extra credit right there. I didn't realize the context. Honey Badger, we're already 2 hours back. More than 2 hours? 2 hours back. Oh, jeez. Honey Badger, you still here? The greatest disappointment of our time? I mean, unrealized potential. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll be here. He's here. That's unfortunate. Platinum Pro. Wait, did you get demoted from Diamond? Or were you Platinum last season? 4th Badger game this month. I don't know where he's getting all this disposable income. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. But he is, from my, like, the fact I remember, a great example of why the select all army hotkey is a crutch. And how you can understand how to play better, but you're sometimes limited by force of habit. Stop with the clap. Stop with the clap. That's what I told your mother, but she just... What is your camera doing? It's not moving. I'm still on his camera. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. And yes, there are definitely like some diamond players especially who are like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking pro gamer. Like, whoa, oh my god. And do that. But it is usually, like, usually you find a middle ground. No. No, this is not more important than your cybercore, my friend. I get it. But it is not more important than your cyber. You know what else isn't more important than your cyber? Whatever you're doing with your probes.
Are under
Your probes are under attack. It's a disaster.
attack.
on the bright side, you won't be distracted by your own probe anymore. So, you know what? This is actually a plus. That's actually a good move. Great job. Your life was not in vain. Oh my god. I keep turning it down. Grid hotkeys? Need some fucking grid hotkeys I'm looking at here. What's wrong with grid? There's nothing wrong with grid. I'm just wondering where the mistakes are coming from. Yep, grid. Because that's the only reason you'd be mistaking a gateway for a cybercore. I'd have an ear infection and thought the clapping was just in my head. No. It's already infected enough with your thoughts. Yeah, like, I don't think grid hotkeys are better or worse than normal hotkeys. It's just it leads to a different set of mistakes. An argument like, well, they're all going to be in the same area of the keyboard can be easily solved by other hotkey like, grid hotkeys are fine. I don't think they're necessary. I don't recommend them. But if you're into it, whatever. It's a strong non-opinion from me. If you try to argue grid hotkeys are better, well, you're wrong, in my opinion. My opinion is worth enough. But if you're more comfortable with them, whatever. Okay, good. Grid hotkeys. Fine. Live and let live. I use WASD to move my camera. Yes, and you've been bragging about that for like a year and a half. Get over it. Yes, I'm an idiot, and I have been for a long time. Cool. You're not Forrest Gump.
Research complete, but have we learned anything? Need?
Thank you, Diplominator, for 11 months. Ooh. As you can see, control groups in intense use here. Overall, like, well, he could have gone for a third. This is pretty platinum, maybe diamond. Like, there's no next level of tech, which ideally would have already been invested in. I guess you could call Double Forge and Charge the next level of tech. Usually you'd want a third base with it, because with this army, you actually want to have a better economy than the Terran, because your units in a bit of a role reversal are less cost effective than Terran units, because you're just relying on a fuck ton of charge lots.
Your precious pylon is falling.
Okay. Believe it or not, your Stalker will still shoot, even if you aren't there cheering it on. Just FYI. Funny thing is, I haven't been even been in Winter's chat for a year yet. You know what? You know what that statement is? It's true. You followed last July. It's just because spending time with you feels like it takes so long. But you are accurate. Do you guys know I use WASD for my camera hotkeys?
Your research is complete. Mind out of that. Nice. Save those probes. You can't build cannons without them.
Why Glaives? You know, the thing is, once again, we're at a scenario where this is like, besides maybe being a little late on the third, the gateways being kind of weirdly timed, the probe count, good, not great. It's fine. Like, everything's fine. This is the, well, literally the C+ of executions here. This is the Nicolas Cage and all those other movies of builds.
You took.
But, like, it's not, nobody's gonna remember it. It's perfectly acceptable, but at the same time, there's nothing to compliment on. There's just nothing to complain about either at the same time. So, I mean, the first time I mentioned it, you quit my replay and was getting mad at me for making troops. Making troops! Despite me spotting a drop incoming that not even you noticed on the minimap. Ah, yes. Thank you,
Now
Nelman.
in my service.
Thank you, Nelman. We all remember those other Nicolas Cage movies. Okay? But at the end of the day, I'm still Nicolas Cage. And you aren't even signed with the fucking Screen Actors Guild, so you don't get a speaking part. You're just the person who dies saying, Mr. Cage. And maybe in some movie he's actually called Mr. Cage. Maybe we shouldn't go into that tunnel to kill the aliens, because otherwise the timeline will be distorted and the unicorns will take over the planet. But Nick, he goes into that fucking tunnel. And the unicorns, they take over the planet, and he has to fight through 3 other direct-to-VHS movies in order to take it back from the unicorns. But that actor died immediately after that statement. You are that actor.
The minerals.
You guys don't remember those movies? Do you not have a VHS player? Do you not have a record player?
I return to serve.
In this scenario, I am Nicolas Cage, and he is anyone else.
Mineral field depleted. Upgrade completed.
I'm starting to lose it. You might be like, starting to? For the philosophers.
An upgrade's been completed.
I return.
Mineral patch is gone. Research finished,
Yes,
but I'm
yes,
still waiting on
yes.
high-sec auto.
Just as I deserve.
Happy birthday. Now go get some candies or whatever you young people like these days.
Who the fuck are you, Willy Wonka? Go get some candies? From where? The general store? Alright, Melvin. Calm down. Thank you for the 20 bucks.
You're all mined out of that mineral field.
That store is closed? No, it's not. Because they don't have internet.
A mineral.
They don't have the World Wide Web. And even if you go to https colon for no not s http colon forward slash www.zombo.com forward slash, you would still not find that information because it would probably take a minute and a half to get there.
Research is done. Your forces are just mineral.
Of course, they're not going to use HTTPS. Don't. It might actually be blocked because
It's a disaster.
are you using control grips? Is it helping?
Enemies attack. How could you let this happen?
All you need to do, we've been over this. You can just press the W key or whatever it is on grid in order to hit the select all warp gate hotkey. Then that frees up. You know what? I'm impressed though. This is good.
Your pylon's being deconstructed by the enemy.
Not enough gates. Third base is late. The control is mediocre.
Your probes, defend them.
That was bad. Like, he was using multiple accurate hotkeys and splitting his units well enough. Now, if we're having a conversation about map vision, then we are having a high-level conversation. So, at the end of the day,
Your upgrade is complete. Upgrade is all done.
obviously there's there's at least, like, you could fit 3 more families in there. That's how much room for improvement there is. But
Mineral patch is gone.
yeah, this is way too close for comfort, but 12 gates. 12 gates.
It actually worked this time.
A minus. That was a lot close. You finally ripped the crutches out from under yourself. And you might grab them up and lean on them for a second or two. But despite that game being close, that was a marked... Why'd you give him a minus? Because I have nuance? Honestly, it was closer to a B+. If that had been a one-off and I'd never seen his replays before, that would have been a B+. But based on what he had, the mistakes he has made in the past, and the effort that has gone into fixing them in some sense, it is an A-. How long's the queue? Too long. Also, 1, 2, 2.5. Mara, did you send 2? Or is that one twice? That's two different ones. Fucking Maru. Is it that Maru? Let's just assume so. So it's 3. 4. No, 3. What are numbers? A minus. Better. Who is a Platinum Terran. Up next. Make game PvT. If Terran makes lib, do I make Blink Stalkers or Tempest? ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both? Blink Stalkers are fine. Like, does he make libs? He makes 4 Liberators, or does he make 12 Liberators? It's very different. Yes, make Stalkers, yes. But your plan can't just be Stalkers now, because he made any amount of Liberators. 12 Liberators, make Tempests. 12 Liberators you're not going to counter with Stalkers if he has a brain, which you said it was...
You are now in my
You didn't say it was Plat. I was just assuming. It's probably Plat, right? Thank you, AJK, for gifting to the people.
Oh, you are now in my service.
Unlucky
You are
freeloaders.
now in my service.
Alright. Maru, what was your issue? And we're on Golden Wall, which is a fucking disaster. In a good way, it's fun.
Oh, you are now in my service.
You're out of supply. Build more depots.
Thanks, our coaches.
Oh, you are now in my service.
Free biddies. Did they not? Wait, are they free now? Should I rename myself Zest in game? That would be very clever and original.
CC's upgraded.
It's kind of like how about 20% of the NAGM ladder right now is coronavirus. Nice job, team. It's about right. Did you know you can rename your Starcraft profile name every season? Don't. But you can.
Your SCVs are getting wrecked.
How did this happen? We're getting to the point. I was doing the strike system, though not too many people have, not the orbital strike system, which I prefer. Okay, so you scouted... Wait, is that a pull first? No. So how did Lings get into your base?
CC's upgraded.
Oh, because your Reaper sat in your fucking base for like 20 seconds. And then it... Wait, where is it going? To his third. Okay. That did not justify the amount of yelling I did. But still, where is it going? You might be like, well, he could just take the back third as well. This map is kind of a mess. It's fair. But mistakes like that add up. It's flat. They don't add up that much, but... My good friend. Is that you microing your Reaper? Nice drone kill you got there. What could go wrong?
Your add-ons, they're attaching your SCVs.
You know, honestly, there's not much more you could have done. Besides rallying your Reaper, like at that point, microing the Reaper was not the end of the world. Besides, you're not building any SCVs. Have I talked about building? CVs in the past. This is not an X. It's not an X. Stop. Stop it. You do not have the power of X. The only X you have is existential dread. Which, if you don't, well, that explains your comments.
C's
And XD as well.
upgraded.
SCV ready.
Add-ons finished.
Ready to raise some hell. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. Ready to raise some hell.
Additional supply.
This better be good. Ready to raise some hell.
Report for action.
Maru? What is the problem here? Any amount of micro is happening. But why is that the problem? $800 minerals. There you go. You see, I put the question up because I thought he would answer it correctly. And he did. 800 minerals. The 250 gas is not that big a deal. Third CC, 2 SCV.
You are now in my service.
Thank you, Lukovic.
No one
Up
should ever
until
micro the
Diamond
Reaper.
1, that Reaper is a photographer. Reaper gets in, finds the important information, reports it back, and gets out. No shooting, no micro. You're not gonna get a fucking Pulitzer Prize for that shit. Or maybe you will. Because you didn't shoot. You just took photos. Wait, is there a different prize? Like the Pulitzer Prize is for journalism. But is there a different one for photography? And then, anyways, thank you, Willie Pete. 89 for that sub.
SCV ready.
There's one for like photography. Thank you,
are
Maru.
now in my
Gifting to
service.
the penis man. That's just a bold move. And
You are now
AJK
in
gifting
my
to the people.
service.
Could we all calm down and stop being so generous? Maybe it's just the extra minerals.
You are now in my service.
I'm here to witness Maru getting roasted. Yes, the real Maru. The pianist man. And yes, I'm in this kind of mood. Has a
You are
check
now
mark
in my
near his
service.
name, meaning he is a partnered Twitch streamer. They just give it out to anyone these days, don't they? I say that knowing nothing. How do you say your name? Is the Y silent? Now I have to check if you're a Starcraft streamer, so I know how to make fun of you.
You are now in my service.
League of Legends. Okay. He obviously needs the charity for his cancer treatments.
You are now
I
in my
apologize.
service. Yes. Just as I deserve.
Roast me cause I suck.
Now in my service.
I've watched loads of your videos on YouTube. You got me into forts, but because of the time difference, I never caught a stream. Much love for what you do. Thank you, Willie Pete. But I am not in curses. Okay? In curses, much more, like, much easier to listen to.
You are now in my service.
You might have missed it. He in curses hosted me.
You are now in my
But
service.
that's okay. Thank you. And everybody go check out The pianist man.
You are now in my
If you can spell it. I'm not going to spell it. Why? Masochism. Anyways, speaking of masochism, you just really hate having Hellions, don't you?
Add-ons.
Like, well, we're running by with these Hellions. Why? Who knows?
You are
Fuck
now
it.
in my service.
Okay. Let's think now.
You
I get
are
it.
now in my
The
service.
Liberator is the real damage, assuming it's queued up. I actually kind of... It depends. If that Liberator is queued up and killing
You are
during
now
this,
in
we're
my
going to find out.
service.
So far, you've gotten 2 kills. Let's see what the end is.
You are now in my service.
9 kills. It's not terrible.
You are now in my service.
15 kills.
You are now in my service.
And I say at Platinum, it's very important, like you worry about yourself. You do your build, and then you worry about your opponent. I don't usually say your build should be attacking them, because then you're focused on micro instead of macro. But the timing was good. He's on 2 bases, you're going for a 3rd. So that stands to reason if he's on 2 bases and not doing whatever the fuck. Oh my god. Oh, that's so smart. Oh, that makes so much sense. Well, I'm going to be taking my 3rd here. Wait, no, you have to take down the rocks. Wait, is there a gap? There's no gap. Anyways, if he's not doing this, and you never saw that, but if he's on 2 bases and you attack him and you lose your units, you now have no units. It stands to reason. The reason he's on 2 bases is because he's building units. He's not. You don't know that. But imagine if instead of another base, he built 14 roaches. That is well within the realm of reason. In fact, likely. If he had 14 roaches right now, he's only got 5. But if he had 14, what happens now? You die. Thankfully, because he is just as incompetent as you are. He does that. Thank you, matchmaking.
Add-ons finished.
SCV ready.
That actually went well. That was perfectly good. Like, the execution, I want to make the point that the way you did it was good. The build wasn't bad, but the critical thinking was non-existent. You walled off your own siege tank. We've all been there. That is the key point. Like, parts of it were good. I'm not just being mad for the sake of being mad. I'm not like a podcast.
Your add-on's done.
SCV ready.
What are all these Platinum players? How do they all know this and I don't? Like, why is everybody just taking the gold? I haven't seen anyone in Masters and GM take the gold like that. You guys are fucking greedy bastards. You're blowing my mind. But apparently it's just... Wow. Not just 1. Not just 2. But 3. 3 siege tanks. Well, no. Impressive. Eventually they get out, right?
Want a piece of me, boy?
Roddy takes the gold every game. Well, Roddy's a genius. And I don't watch his stream enough, apparently.
Your add-on's done.
Maru? It's not hard. Mm-hmm. Also, tanks can siege. That's also important, but not as important. So, right now, you're winning the game. If you had 40 more Marines, I would argue the game would already be over. But
You are now in my service.
you are in a winning
Protoss
position
for the
in a
win.
good spot. If this game goes more than 2 more minutes, I count it as a loss, even if you win. Congratulations.
That mineral field.
Maru is like winter's sun. Don't tell anybody.
We're running out of minerals.
What is this, fucking Berlin in 1948? What is this supply drop bullshit? Build depots. You got enough minerals for like 8 more command centers. Nice flank on that spine crawler. Hey, Mike. It was good. I bet you don't play nearly enough games, right? Are you playing the recommended 20 games a week? You're not. You're not. Few of us are. Thank you, Chug Chug. If you played 20 games a week, you'd be diamond in a month. Easily. I don't know what plat... You're probably plat 1 right now. I don't know. But no. Been working like a madman. Oh, hopefully. Plat 2. Is supply drop recent? Yeah, supply drop's only been in the game since 2010. Do you want me to look at these again? Do I have to look at more? Like you paid me. When do we take the gold? I don't know. Whenever you want. Who cares? I'd take the back base. I think the reason why these lower level players are taking the gold is because they don't understand how mineral walls work, rather than the active decision to take the gold. I'm gonna pick one and speed through it. One you lose, by the way. Just the last one. How many games in the Meta Leagues do you see that are not decided by more shit counters less shit? I mean, you can watch the low APM challenge videos, where I am now diamond with near 100% win rate by having lower APM than my opponent every game, and usually significantly lower, like 50, 60, 70, 80, depending on league. The answer is between like how many games I've seen this. This is a great comment. I'm too lazy and I don't think it would work well. But to bring up the YouTube comments, like someone made the argument of, well, the only reason you're able to play with low APM, unlike many of these like gold players, is because you have game knowledge that they don't have. And to that I say, yes. You figured it out. You fucking genius. But like they said it in an angry tone as to like, well, normal people couldn't do this. Did I not answer the question? Did I start a sentence and just completely go off on like a 30-degree tangent? How many questions? It depends on how literally you want to answer the question of more shit beats less shit. the answer, like, I would generally answer the more shit beats less shit up until we're going to go up to diamond. Diamond is technically not metal, it is compressed carbon, which is not metal, so we're going to go ahead and say up to diamond. More shit beats less shit about 70 to 80% of games, depending on race and matchup. But, like, I'd say 74% are literally only, like, literally a move across the map into their base with a good enough macro and you're fine. But if you want to, like, nickel and dime and nitpick on, well, the only reason you knew you were safe to macro is because you have game knowledge and all that. The amount of games that I could never scout have less than, like, 60 APM and still a move across the map with more shit would probably be more like 50%. But more accurately, it would be more like 74. And if you widened the breadth of that description, it would be close to 90%. Either way, from the most conservative to the most liberal categorization of that, you're still over 50%, which is enough to continue to move up if you play enough games. That is the point. There's a tournament I played against the 1K MMR above me player. Okay. TVT.
You need more supply units. SCV ready.
What are the scenarios that more shit doesn't counter less shit? Like, once again, it depends on the interpretation. Because if you run 200 supply of roaches up a ramp into siege tanks, or if you run 200 supply of roaches up a ramp into 140 supply of siege tanks, it's probably not going to go well. That is the, like, very strict interpretation. A more realistic one is like, for example, they went Sky Toss, and you went Roach Hydra. If you're using my prescribed ratio of 1/2 Hydra, 1/2 Roach, and they have Mass Carrier, it's not going to work. Even if they don't have that many carriers, it's not going to work. Like, you need Corruptors, maybe they have some Storm. Like, there are some units and unit compositions that you have to have basic, like, other things, rather than literally just throwing bodies at them. Like, there are some things that cannot be Stalingrad. And those things, like, they seem to be obvious. And they're mostly for the people writing the asterisks and the YouTube comments and the footnotes. But there are legitimately some people like, I maxed out on Roach Hydra and I ran into siege tanks 14 times. Why didn't you tell me a hive existed? The other side of it is like, how do you deal with a cannon rush? How do you deal with proxy racks? How do you deal with, like, basic cheeses? But the simple version is, if they were relatively competent at those, like, very quick cheeses, like 12 pull, cannon rush, proxy racks, then they probably wouldn't be gold. Like, if they had any, like, if they did it well, or they, like, did anything else, they probably wouldn't be gold. So even if that's the strategy you're up against, and even if you don't handle it well, there's a very good chance that even if you lose half your workers to a stupid fucking cannon rush for no reason, you're still going to beat them with more shit, because that's all they got. Like, they're only throwing fastballs. And eventually you're going to knock it out of the park. Baseball. Do you play Terran better than the other races, or are you equally skilled at all three factions? Well, honestly, I do only play Terran. But the Vanu and the NC just don't take as much skill, as we all know. The Vanu, with their weapon, they don't even have bullet drop, they got lasers, they got weapons that don't even take reloading. Okay? Like, in Terran, you have to put a lot of bullets on the target. They don't do as much damage, high rate of fire. But the new Conglomerate, they just removed aiming entirely. They strap shotguns to their maxes. They strap shotguns to their flashes. They strap shotguns to their jet fighters. Like, they're just aiming in the general direction. Like, every single one of them's playing with an original Xbox controller, which is the size of the average person's brain. That might be interpreted as a compliment. Believe me, it was not. So, the Terran Republic is the hardest, and since I am well accomplished as a Terran, therefore, yes, of course, I would be amazing at the other factions. That's a good question. As for Starcraft, I'm a random Grandmaster. Historically best at Zerg, but right now it's about even. Who cares about that?
SCV ready. SCV ready.
CC's upgraded.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Maru. Vanu need to get 2 headshots with the sniper to kill versus TRNNC? That's just not fucking true. The Ghost bolt rifle has the same damage and damage drop-off as the SAR 42. And, what is it, the bolt driver? It's not the bolt driver. I don't even know what the fucking NC one is. It's bullshit. That's just fake news. Every faction has a bolt rifle that's good in close quarters combat. And it's unlockable for, I believe, 625 certification points. Also, Maru, have you tried building units? That would be a pretty good strategy. You're like, oh, this guy's better than me. Maybe I should build less units instead of more units. That seems like a better strategy. And also, by the way, right now, you could put yourself in a... If you were building units and building SCVs, which I'm going to count as units because they are, you are winning the game. Like, if you're building SCV, if this is an orbital, if you're building SCVs, if you got anything coming out of here, he has nothing. You're about to kill this Widowmine. He's got a Viking, which can fuck off. And you can kill half a dozen SCVs more, you're winning. You don't even need to get into the main like this. But you're not really. Like, instead of just take what is given. You have his natural. Your build was better than his build. But you got greedy, you panicked, and you're like, oh, get in the main. Like, no, just kill all the SCVs at the natural.
Let's go kill something.
Yeah, like he said.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
See?
And once again, like, I don't like relying on early damage builds, but you had the opportunity to do that damage and you didn't.
SCV ready.
That mineral field's gone.
And now we're in an air control conversation, which you're probably gonna lose, but
This better be good.
okay. There's a counter that everyone should look at right now. Does anybody know what counter that is? I didn't tee that up well enough. The soup! Maru knows! Look at the supply! 83 to 62. And it's 2 base versus 2 base. He's over here tunnel visioning like he's digging the English Channel. Digging under the English Channel. Like whatever the channel, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, that fucking mole people. Anyways. He's over there. No upgrades at all. Across the board. No upgrades for anyone. You got 1-1. You got Stim on the way. Same time. You're up by 5 workers, despite nobody really killing workers. You are macroing better than this motherfucker who has, like, enough MMR that you're intimidated by him, which is like how middle schoolers intimidate 4th graders. But in your head, and don't lie to me, tell me, like, I know this guy's better than me, and he's attacking me, so, uh-oh. Like, you're sitting over here. He literally only has 2 tanks, 4 Vikings, and 2 Marines. Your SCVs could kill this shit. The SCV... I don't do that. But this is the scariest non-attack he could ever do. Okay, and now you see it. Now you look, and you see he has 2 tanks, 2 Marines. That's his entirety of his ground units. Oh my god, that's... Oh my... Well, that's not how you do that at all. Oh, Jesus Christ. You had stem. Did you not? Did you not stem? No, you didn't have stem. Okay, you got one. Okay, I mean... I guess the SCVs did that shit. Like... Okay. A tank unsieged has more DPS than a tank sieged. A tank unsieged beats a tank that is sieged. Even if the tank that is sieged has vision at the edge of its range. Fun fact. You go over there, he's punching you in the fucking face. You're like, I'm gonna siege up now. This is a good time. Not a good time.
Research finished. Mineral field.
So, I bet despite all of that, like, I bet you feel like, oh, fuck, that was terrible. I have nothing. This is terrible. Everything's terrible. That was terrible. Look at the soup. I felt super behind. But you're terrible. And so is he. He's in middle school. You're in 4th grade. He also wasn't doing jack shit for most of this. Yeah, he has a 4th base. His upgrades are a minute behind. The last time he built a Marine was before he started the attack, essentially. Do you have an armory? Oh my god, you got a goddamn armory. You can get 2-2 like a minute and a half ahead of him. I'll have you know, Maru is like a 6'5". The thing is, Maru, the incredibly well accomplished Terran player, is actually like 5'4".
Yes. Just as I deserve.
Sorry.
But that is
Could
not
you
this
ignore the
Maru,
previous
because this
angry
Maru
quote
is
to
terrible.
replay I said? Could you look at this one instead?
Oh my god. So, at this point in the game, you're not ahead, but you're definitely not in like a... Like, if I... Red, we're calling him Red, is marginally ahead. Like, I wouldn't bet on it. In fact, if you ask me, if you just assume, like, say, you were Pult, and he was Bomber. Let's throw that back. Right now, I'd bet on you. Because upgrades. Because Pult is big on upgrades. You ever watch Pult? You ever seen Pult? Upgrades are a comeback mechanic. You're not Pult. You're not Maru. I mean, you are, but...
Mineral field depleted.
Ah, so this is the part where you take what is a decent attack and you panic. Was that intentional? So you're like, alright, how can we fuck this up? And you know how we can fuck this up? You know what? Let's let the game tell you.
We're running out of minerals back home.
Oh, your 2-2 is finishing. You found, like, you found the worst possible timing to do exactly the worst possible thing. Congratulations. Like, you walked into sensor tower range, picked up half your army, 12 seconds before your very expensive and effective upgrades finished, lost the entire half the army without looking for it, while the fucking Titanic lifeboats decided to run directly into turrets for no discernible reason at all. You just decide, you just imploded right here. Complete and utter disaster. And it was all entirely your fault. In every way, it was your fault. He did nothing. He barely did what was required of him as a mildly competent StarCraft player, which is reacting to a big blob on the minimap. I could have won this game, what the fuck? Said everyone from Sarah on down.
Your upgrade's done.
You literally, like, I say that, I usually say that metaphorically, but this was literally the worst possible. It wasn't just the worst timing, it was also the worst possible execution. Like, you literally lost your entire army seconds before your upgrades finished. And also, you lost it for no reason at all. Like, you made no effort to not lose that army. You did everything you could to make sure it was easy to kill.
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
At the worst possible time. And I said we were going to speed through this replay. But this is like the... It's like the Mona Lisa. If the Mona Lisa was literally a turd. Because this is like a very unique and beautiful piece of shit right here. Beautifully done. I gotta say, like, it really all comes together.
Stronger. Upgraded.
FTV ready.
People will come from across the lands to witness how perfectly bad this was.
They're attacking your base, you know.
You are the Maru of people who are the opposite of Maru. Well done.
Your add-on's done. CC's upgrade.
Go, go, go!
Wow, he almost does the same. Like, if you weren't so insanely far behind, that would have been a throw. Right there. Like, if you had 30 more supply when that happened, which isn't a huge amount, then that might have been a throw from him, because he's like, I gotta drop!
GG.
Best of luck
Sorry,
moving
man.
on. I don't think he's gonna have much luck. He's not very good. Do we need a hope score for this? We're not gonna. Can I just get a sad emoji? Can we get like... There you go. That's... How many more of this shit do we have? Rexus and Ixnow. And then Ixnow again because he fucked up the replay. Like, if you can't even send the right replay the first time, you don't think that's part of the problem, but sure. Anyways, Jimmy says it's time for a quick... It's time for a quick advertisement, real quick. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you can pause ad block. Like, we got a shout out to the sponsors and all that. It was the right replay, but I think I know what the problem was. So it was the right replay. But then you looked at it and you solved your own problems. If only there was something we could learn from this. Anyways, moving on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and have you heard of Twitch Prime? Do you have Amazon Prime? Have you forgot to cancel it for the last I don't know how many years? Well, did you know you're just 3 clicks away from Twitch Prime? Twitch Prime is the best way to get shitty loot for mobile games you've literally never fucking played before. You can check it out at twitch.tv/prime, but wait, you can subscribe right now on this stream for free. Subscribe right now. Subscribe. Don't. Ah!
Oh, you are now in my service.
Thank you guys for sticking around. I know ads are loud, annoying, but like Starcraft 2 in 2020, you know. Like, we gotta make it somehow. Thank you, Cloud0307, for that sub. Thank you for joining us. Hilarious. Said the bear. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you are now in my service.
Can I just do this? We just do this for a while? Thank you, Leo. 0045. Are you still... Oh, wait, what is this? Silver Terran? Silver Terran? Is this like during the rank bugs? Or is this legitimately... Check that MMR. 2850. That means nothing to me. Is 2850 silver?
The ads worked.
That doesn't sound like a lot. Plat? Okay. Sure. Plat. Much better. What are these pleb numbers? Like a 2850 MMR. What could it be? Silver? How much could it cost? Alright, so what will be the biggest issue? Platinum, Terran. I'll be right back, one moment. Don't go anywhere, don't skip. If this is on YouTube, it might be like Winter. Are all your YouTube videos just recorded parts of your stream, which you do for, at this point, 9 hours a day, but usually more? The answer is like and subscribe. Be right back. Are we still doing this shit? Oh my god. Okay. Fuck. Supply block and lack of workers not an option? Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't able to pick the accurate option, which would have had a dramatic effect on... The polls aren't... Well, first, in those polls, did you know if you subscribe, your vote counts for 3 times as much? Because you gave me money. And those polls are definitely very serious and important and accurate, and not just so that way you feel obligated to stick around while I'm AFK for multiple minutes at a time. That would be misleading. And moving on.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
You tell me right now. Is your build a 2 barracks build? Is that the build? Ghetto 211. No, it's not. The answer is no. When you have the attention span of a particularly challenged squirrel, that is not a build. The 211 is when you get an expansion. You can't just like fill in the blanks like it's a fucking bingo chart. It's like, well, I got 2 barracks, 1 factory, and 1 starport. Like, that's not how it works. Oh, are we gonna get an orbital? You missed an SCV because a probe showed up. It's like, well, there's a probe. I'm sorry, that was a little bit too much acting there. And thus we missed an SCV. Whatever semblance of a build order was thrown directly into the trash can. And the orbital command was just a suggestion. Like, how did 1 probe fuck it up this hard? One probe has done a lot more for a lot less, and vice versa. Like, I will admit, probes are probably the most annoying units in the entire goddamn game. And they are also the most cost-effective units in the entire game. Like, 1 probe has 1 Protoss players so many hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars that 1 zealot cannot take credit for. 1 stalker, not even 1 oracle, not even a mothership has the prize winnings of, if you break it down, 1 probe. But at the end of the day, that has no effect on this game. The effect is, my enemy's in the game, and I don't know how to handle that. Like, did you watch? Okay, you know what? I'm not just doing this because I want to watch it again. Let me give you I have a... There's even a documentary about the effectiveness of a probe. And if you haven't seen it, let me show you this documentary real quick. I think it's very important for people to see.
Skills.
Yeah. This is a documentary about probes. Because you know how good they are. With that said, why does it not show up? Why does it not work? Why do you not work? with that said, let us watch this documentary.
The swarm brought ruin to our world. Our proud people became refugees.
Nice nerve cords, bro.
And yet,
Would be a shame if something
they could not
happened to
shatter
them.
our unity. For we are bound by the Kala, the sacred union of our
shit, this is the
every
wrong one.
thought.
Oh,
and
this is not the I'm sorry. This is the wrong one. This is not the right documentary. My bad. Here we go.
The swarm brought ruin to our world.
Holy shit.
Our proud people became refugees. And yet, they could not shatter our unity. For we are bound by the Kala, the sacred union of our every thought and emotion.
Oh yeah. In the beta, caustic spray could affect units for a few weeks. One pro.
Today, we retake our homeworld. And with it, we retake our homeworld. We retake our home. We retake.
So pylon overcharge is this thing. Fun fact. So, yes, I get one probe can be scary, but it shouldn't fuck up your entire build just because it showed up. That's what I'm trying to say. But unfortunately, that is what has happened. If we could remember back. You guys could keep up. This is bad. This is not how you do this build. That is not how you do it. This is wrong. 2 X's because I'm mad. Because it's extra wrong.
Add-on. Additional supply depots required.
Because it's like you gotta be able to make it to 2 minutes without fucking it up. And you didn't. You just didn't. Like, look at this. The only reason you're not supply blocked is the expansion you built at a random time. So the timing, if you do your build correctly, Maru, the actual Maru, can get a 2-1-1 across the map, dropping at his opponent's base, which he doesn't really do against Protoss, but that's besides the point. At the 5-minute mark. Before the 5-minute mark, in fact. He's actually so good at it. So, if Maru can expand and get across the map by the 5-minute mark, if you can do it by 5:30, okay, maybe cut some slack. But, are we there? Oh, I'm doing a 2-1-1 with siege tanks, combat shield, and no okay. This isn't a 2-1. You can't just be like, I got 2 barracks, I got a factory, I got a starport. It's a 2-1-1. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's like saying Rose Art is Crayola. Okay? Rose Art is for children whose parents don't love them. Just like this build is for Terrans who don't want to get to Diamond. And like, sure, they know they're supposed to have a build. They know, like, but like, do they care enough? No. And obviously, neither do you.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Additional research complete.
Ready for dust off.
He has a hallucinated phoenix, so everybody panic and build turrets.
Ready for dust.
He has a bunker with no units. That anger me. You know, at least you had a childhood. Because much like your father, you're getting angry about things that make no sense and don't matter to anyone. But the apple doesn't fall far from the Silver League tree. Thank you for your comments in Twitch chat.
Ready for dust off.
Upgrade complete.
If only somebody could have predicted we're getting supply blocked.
SCV ready.
Ready for dust.
Finally, we're starting to make supply depots beforehand. I like the at some point, I think it was a Reaper Scout. Now we have seen nothing for 8 minutes, but we're doing this attack. I mean, that's not the end of the... Okay. And don't try to pretend like that #1 control group is your bio units, because it has 15, and right here is 19 Marines. So I don't even have any idea what... They were definitely... The summary is the select army hotkey, right? Like, yeah, don't bullshit me when you're pretending to have control groups. When it comes down to it.
Field depleted. Upgrade.
And... Yes, this is a good attack. Was it good because of anything you did. You put the army together. I'll give you that. You put the Lego pieces together. Congratulations. You got all the way up to 94 supply, despite losing essentially nothing. You couldn't even get to 100 supply in 8.5 minutes, despite losing nothing. A competent Terran under no pressure can max out in 9.5 minutes. Are we a minute away from maxing out? No. And I'm saying with upgrades and with all those basic defenses. And you know why you got fucking crushed there? It's because you don't have more shit than him. You got 1,000! I see. You must have invested these minerals, and right now, the stock market is taking any sort of currency. So you invested those minerals, you got a solid return, and that gave you the disposable income to send to me. And you might be like, well, Winter, why would I send you money? They say more money, more problems. Well, I have been a random Grandmaster in Starcraft, not just Zerg, not just Terran, not just Protoss. I've been Grandmaster as random, all 3 of the inferior races. Obviously inferior to Koreans, we all know that. But in Starcraft 2. And if you think I can't handle more problems, then maybe you should reevaluate your system for diagnosing problems. I can handle it. So, thankfully, you have at least gotten that far to say, well, more money, more problems, I don't want to deal with it. Disposable income, here you go, Winter. You can look at this incredibly obvious replay where I make mistakes that if I had spent half the time I spent waiting for you to actually come up to the replay and talk about it and look at it, if I had done that myself, I could have learned more than you have spent in your diluted and rambling tangent that has taken longer than literally the replay itself. But instead, you sent me that money, you sent me this replay, and now we're here, and that is why you're platinum.
Upgrade. Research. Add-on.
Thank you, whoever sent this, by the way, it's great. Is it bad to build a wall versus Protoss? It's not a priority. It's not bad, but it's not a priority. How long is this game? It's about 4 minutes too long already.
Upgrade. Command center ready.
Fuck, he's gonna win. Fuck this shit. Because more shit with upgrades counter less shit. And this is the problem. He's gonna come out of this like, well, I think I did okay because I won.
Mineral field depleted.
Let me read the message. This is why we play more than 2 ladder games a month instead of 50 Zerg Hex games a week. Does not explain anything. Oh yeah, Raxus is very good at arcade games that pretend to take Starcraft skill. Like Zone Control, which is the worst game ever created that I can't stop playing. And Zerg Hex, which pretends to be balanced but very much is not. He's very good at those. So he's Starcraft skill adjacent. Like, he's the I have a Zerg friend of Starcraft, or I have a pro friend like me. Like, I play Zerg Hex with Scarlet, That pretty much makes me a pro gamer. It's kind of like that. Does not. And even if you picked up any tips, you're not. But you're close. Go watch that Zerg Hex with Scarlet video. She's actually insanely good at Zerg Hex. It's ridiculous.
Ready for dust off.
I'm just mad he wins, especially against this team. Well, he started winning after he started focusing on macro, as opposed to whatever micro disaster the early game was. Like, we got to 10 minutes, and then he remembered me yelling at him, despite he spent 15 bucks on this piece of shit, but he couldn't buy my announcer pack,
3 years and still bronze.
where I say many of the same things. Be better. We both know you're not playing enough ladder. You know what? No. That's a B- because you're so good at Zerg Hex. It'd be a B for a normal person, but I know, like, you gave too much context. It's a B-. Because we both know you're not going to play 20 games a week. We both know it. Don't lie. You're probably not going to get Diamond by the end of the season. You could, but you're not going to. Thank you, Burnt Toes 95. Was half expecting a fuck off. No, it was just intensely mediocre. And you should be used to that. Ixnow. Are we finally done? Is this it? Ixnow is a fucking Platinum Zerg. Have we not had enough? I've been on a Star Trek kick recently, and my entire life, but recently. But that right there was the Star Trek nemesis of games. Okay? Good music. Unfortunately, we have to, like, acknowledge it exists. We like the characters and the actors. But we just wish it never happened. So, it's better than Generations, which is the William Shatner still alive of Star Trek movies. Wrong game? Oh yeah, you fucked up the game. I'm sorry. My bad. I forgot that you fucked it up. And you're like, well, but I picked a different one. Well, maybe you should have done that beforehand. Still a Platinum Zerg. It's not like he improved. Gold is a wall for Terran and Protoss because they can't build one, so all the Zergs get to go to Platinum. Then they hit a wall because Terran and Protoss graduated Platinum by learning how to build one. About 3 words in, I realized that was a direct quote from myself. But I finished it anyways, because I am not nearly above that. Are you sober enough to continue? Is that the right word you want to use? Pick any of the words. First Contact is the one with the Borg, where they just throw out all of the Borg stuff. And they're like, well, people don't understand this. So Borgs have queens now. And queens, as in most Star Trek movies, and also in Starcraft, Imba. So, a Platinum Zerg. Here's what a Platinum Zerg does. They think Zerglings are good. Or at least they try to make Zerglings good. Does it mean you're going to have 3,700 minerals with 38 drones? Yes. Does it mean we don't know what hive tech is? Yes. Does it mean that we are going to spend 14 seconds to kill 2 SCVs as opposed to doing anything else? Yes. But, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that light is shadowed by the mutalisks we're building to make sure we don't actually win the game. But, who knows? It could be completely different. As of today, we're going to pull the birthday card. I'm 27 years old. Going on 69. Scarlet versus Zest. They better give me the replays. If ESL has been slacking on giving out replays, and by that I mean Sinistro, if you happen to be watching, you do a great job. And I know you go above and beyond for those replay packs. And you don't have to do it, but we really love it. But I'll get them. And yes, Scarlet versus Zest. But it goes The Expanse, Deep Space Nine, TNG, Firefly. And then 5th is hard to pick on that one. Honestly, that'd be a whole debate. But I think in that order.
Your precious drones are falling.
I actually haven't watched Babylon 5. I think I watched like 1. I think I started watching so late, like, it actually seems so dated that it's too much. Like, I started watching TNG before it was so dated.
Again,
like,
no
it's super dated.
here. Just a less than mediocre present.
But, like,
P.S.
Babylon
Upgrades
5
are
seems
overrated.
super
Who
dated.
needs them?
Queen's all done.
Oh yeah, I forgot Battlestar Galactica. First 3 seasons of Battlestar Galactica at 5th.
Base is under attack.
For 2.5.
Your brood is under attack. A new queen is ready.
The new one, not the old one. Yeah.
Oh, you are now in my service.
Bears, Beaks, Battlestar Galactica.
Farscape is a solid 7th. And you might be like, what's 6th? I don't know. What about Battlefield Earth? Solid 18th. On a good day.
New queen.
That's a lot of drones. You're a Platinum Zerg? Okay, why are you getting Zergling speed now? Like, you got an evolution chamber, you got 200 gas, you got a roach horn, like, you got all the fixins. And then you're like, So like in the garage, you got a Bugatti, you got a Ferrari, you got a. Fill it in. Come on. Somebody. We're just gonna do this until more expensive car. Lamborghini. Yeah, obviously. Got a Phantom. You Maserati. Okay, but you're like, I'm gonna go with the I don't know, fast motorcycle now. Suzuki. That's a motorcycle brand, right? And we're in a demolition fucking derby right now. It's important to go fast, but it's also important not to fucking die. And the Suzuki is going to die. That's what's important.
She's disappointed.
Kawasaki. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I told you, like I said an hour ago, I did, to quote myself, I'm losing it. And now we're here. Quoting myself more and more often, because I had the best words back in that time.
Evolution. Your swarm is now bigger and
You got 60 drones in 6 minutes. Alright, Dark.
Brood under attack.
It's already like an A-. You're gonna have to really fuck up to be below an A. Like, it's gonna have to be a total train wreck. How long is this game? That's a yikes.
Time. A mineral field has been depleted. The swarm is threatened. All done evolving. The enemy is attacking your swarm. Your Zerg have evolved. Your swarm is now big.
I want everybody to take this moment. Look at the supply. Pretty nice, right? You have 114 to 69. You got +1. I don't know why you're getting melee attack. What are you rationing? I don't. Go fucking kill him!
You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief.
Oh no. Or get a hive, get all the upgrades and max out. Option 2, you could just build units. What are you not? 3 out of 3, 0 out of 3. You know what? That's not too bad.
Mind out of that. Evolution complete.
15 more drones? Fine. Good. Fine.
You're all mined out of that one. Mutation. Queen ready. Mineral patch is...
Where are you going?
You are now
Thank you,
in my
George.
service.
Mineral field depleted.
No, Captain Undead is sending me more fucking replays. Getting the last annoying words in.
Mutation done. You can run faster. And you took all the minerals from that cluster. All done evolving.
I didn't even notice. Now look at it, I'm like... Yeah, let me explain. I see Captain Undead sent me another replay. Go fucking kill him.
Mind out of that.
Hydraling Bane is the unit composition, by the way.
Evolution. A mineral field.
How did you fuck this up? Wait, how did you fuck this up? I tried to stop him, but he insisted. He has less self-control than I do. At the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm only going to stream like 55 hours a week. That seems reasonable. That's like 6 days a week for like 8 to 9 hours. And now 9.5 hours later. Yesterday we streamed for 14 hours. What the fuck? You might be like, Winter, but aren't you quarantined? I've been quarantined for 6 fucking years. Like, self-inflicted.
You're all mined out of that mineral field.
He has 2-2, you have 2-0. With worse units in a terrible spot. This is... Well, you don't have more shit, is the thing. Like, I say more shit, more... You don't have more shit, though. That's the difference.
All done
If it makes you feel better about your self-control, I bought $60 of Girl Scout cookies this year. And yes, you may have bought 2 packs of Girl Scout cookies. But I don't see how that reflects upon me.
Mineral patch is gone, and it's not coming back. You engage the...
Yes, we're going to get a little bit of everything. And at the end of the day, you're going to lose in 2 minutes. I'm sorry. 1 minute and 55 seconds. Because you're getting a little bit of fucking everything. And a whole lot of nothing. I should have gotten armor. You should have gotten a lot of things. Not Zerglings, for one. The Zerglings aren't doing jack shit. Yes, Banelings, maybe. But the answer to that army... Vipers.
Mutation.
If it's actually, like, he's maxed out, he has a big army. Vipers. At least Vipers don't die immediately like Infestors do.
Yeah. Creep tumor under attack.
He doesn't need tanks. He has Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs with better upgrades. He doesn't need shit.
For this? Your brood. Your brood.
1-2 Broodlords aren't gonna solve the problem. You telling Platinum players to micro? Like, who was it in Harry Potter who didn't know how to do wizard things? Like, not the Muggles. Was it Neville Longbottom? Is that the name? I don't know. Like the guy who had no fucking idea what he was doing, but he still casted a medium amount of spell. Like he was there. He was the Platinum Leaguer of Gryffindor. Okay? That's all you like. You got to come through. You've been playing this game. You got to come through for that much. You can cast 2 blinding clouds.
Your drones are being slain.
Right now, you're the Dursley. Whatever the fuck boy from the Dursley fuck boy. I don't know. Whatever, the first book. That's you right now. But you need to be Neville Longbottom. Dudley. Wow, that was pretty on the nose. Real clever there. JK, bro, don't worry.
Check the replay. Find that play button.
Listen to him. Well, actually, don't listen to him because he doesn't tell you to make Vipers. But Roach, Hydra, Viper, or just winning the game when you're winning. Watch your own replays. Normally, I upgrade my attack. The upgrades weren't the problem. I wish we could be in a scenario where the upgrades were the problem. That's not the problem. Still, though, it's a B, because the macro was good. Most of the rest was bad. But that'll get you that far. Most of the rest was bad. Well, like, 60 drones by 6 minutes, even Dark would struggle to compete with you. Like, that was great. Nothing else was great, but that was great. Like, that was very good, and that's what carries you to a B. If it had been 40 drones at 6 minutes, that's a C- right there. You had the economy to fuck it up, so good for you. It's a lot there. Cam Undead, why you make me do this? You should get armor too. Fuck off. Cam Undead, like, when you see Cam Undead in chat, what you have to understand. Well, like, I sit here. Okay. I'm not gonna finish that sentence, by the way. It's not gonna be finished. Just telling you. We are 9.5 hours into the stream, which is kind of short for me. We are 4+ hours into Angry Coaching, such as it is, and thank you. But it wasn't until, and I usually can play it off pretty well, and I can start a sentence just like I just did 2 seconds ago, and now we're in another sentence. Bam! But I realized I had nothing. The fact it takes 9+ hours to make that a regular thing, that's pretty fucking impressive. I'm good at this. Subscribe today. Wow. Believe it or not, despite making way too much money. It's your B-day, so I gave extra money. That's all. Don't fucking play it down. Get the fuck out of here. We both know you have self-control problems. Don't give me that shit. Especially my moment of clarity. No, I do. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyways. Despite making thousands and probably more digits of money, of dollars, of dollary dues, of toilet paper, on Angry Coach, and all these videos and all that, I still every time I'm desperately trying to be good enough. It's imposter syndrome is what it's called. Like, you're just pretending to be that guy.
Missed your HPV
And if you pretend
winter.
well enough, nobody will notice that you're not that guy. But I am that guy. But because I realize I am that guy, does that make me not that guy? Fuck. And now everything's ruined. Fuck you, Cam Undead. Let's look at this replay. It's his fault.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Stop. Stop. You're not Hero Marine. Simmer down.
Build supply.
It's true. If I didn't try to be that guy. Every fucking day. And that's why... Shit. And now I understand. Like, this is my... years in. Like... Before, I wasn't nearly as self-aware. I was as accomplished. No, that's wrong. I did the same things without being as self-aware. But I'm constantly trying to do better. Unlike most of the people who give me money to look at their fucking replays. But, and I might not be doing better, but I feel just enough past that threshold of doing better that I can justify it, personally. It doesn't help that you guys give me way too much money. Thank you. Fuck you, pay me. But... if you're still confused, that's okay. We all grow up. We all grow old. But rarely do we grow wiser.
SCV ready.
Like, look at this. Look at these fucking... look at these hotkeys. Watch.
SCV ready.
And it's not even bad. Like, it's fine. It's just amusing me. Nobody cares about APM. The only people who care about APM are the people who absolutely do not need to. Like, I'll tell you right now, every once in a while I'll lose to a mech player that has 150 APM, which is low for Masters 1. And yeah, whatever. But, like, nobody at a reasonably high level gives a fuck about APM. Like, if it's like a 1200, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But... like, comments about padding APM are for Gold League and Twitch chat, but I repeat myself.
Command center upgrade complete.
The Grim Reaper has arrived. SCV.
You see, that joke could have been better. Comments about padding APM are for Gold Leaguers, or they're for Twitch chat. But, I repeat myself. What am I doing? What am I saying? You think I script this? You think I script 4 hours of this shit every fucking time? It's like, send in these replays. I'm gonna have these jokes lined up.
Be ready.
They write themselves. Right.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
I see Cam Undead in chat a lot. I see him making a lot of comments. But would you like to comment on this situation? $425 minerals, no orbital on the second base, and the Reaper struggling against drones. I successfully scout and pull drones out of money. That's one. Thankfully, by killing your 2 SCVs undefended at the natural, and now you're building Marines off your reactor because you didn't flip your fucking factory over in a timely manner. The fuck is this? Oh, I successfully scout. Did you successfully scout? He's making way too many Zerglings because it would be very hard to do that. That's fair.
Command center upgrade.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add on.
SCV ready. Ready.
The beauty of this. Let's look at the worker count. Oh, he's good. He's good enough.
Pretty little
It did not prove a point I wanted it to prove. But Jimmy Richard, Jimmy's fired. Okay, like I cannot afford Jimmy. People are not paying any Jimmy coin.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
mineral cluster.
Ready to raise some hell.
That's all the minerals we get.
So, if your battlecruiser gets into their main and they do not have a spore, you should win the game. Not right now. No, you don't win it here, by the way. You win it like 4 or 5 minutes down the line. There's 10 more minutes, which means we get well past that. But that is critical and usually game-ending damage, especially at the higher levels. There is no scenario where a battlecruiser should get in with no spore, get a half a dozen kills, get out, and the Terran is not in a winning position. So here's what I'm going to recommend. Here's my prescription. Build fucking units.
Mineral clusters all gone.
Look at the supply!
SCV ready.
And he's building fucking beautifully.
Ready to raise some hell. SCV ready.
He's gonna have just enough mutas to take on the battle cruisers, and now we got a whole game on our hands. He's right, GG. Game should be over. Right as surprise!
Add on. Yes, sir.
Says the guy who didn't build a single spore crawler. Fucking genius.
SCV ready.
Command center upgrade. Add on.
Battle cruisers have a base, I want to say 2 armor? 3! Who the fuck is paying for this? Anyways. Mutas do damage, but like they do light damage per hit and they have splash. But armor reduces that. Mutas don't do jack shit. Like, look at that. Why did you go into single target? It doesn't matter. Mutas are terrible.
Mineral.
War is here. SCV ready.
Getting out here, boy.
I'm paying 300 gas. He paid 300 gas for 3 Mutalisks. Does that feel like he got his money's worth? Buff Mutas.
SCV ready to raise some hell.
Excuse me.
Raise some hell.
They're bashing the SCVs. Base is under attack. Base. The enemy's after your SCVs.
How are there Zerglings anyway? And also, who cares?
Ain't no mineral left in that club. Command center upgrade.
Ha!
Victory. It looks good on you, kid.
And this is how we gotta end it? Are you kidding me? With this? Sure, you mexed it happen. Fine. Good job. I mean, it wasn't great. It was good. It was fine. Keep it up. Like, I don't know how you're so eternally diamond. Like, you play like a masters most times. But, who knows? It's probably the games you don't send in. Those are the ones. That's the reason you're diamond. The only upgrade I have is Blue Flame. The only upgrade you have is Blue Flame, but you're building mech units against mutas. Mutas could have 3/3, and they'd still implode out of, like, self-loathing if they see a Thor. So, that's just how it works. Anyways, if I have the lack of self-respect to put this on YouTube, please subscribe. It probably won't get better. Like and comment. Like, it's how many hours? 4 hours? You made it this far. Wake up! Oh, I gotta stop doing that. But thank you for watching. Good luck. And have fun. Cut. Now I'm in completely sober, very different non-YouTube mode. That was YouTube mode. This is different. Subscribe, and I'll get more money.